I was robbed. Two guys entered wearing uniforms. They took everything. How do I leave this country? I don't want to be here anymore.
Those words hit so hard for someone who has called Ecuador home for so many years.
If I'm going to retire here, as I age and get older, who has my back?
It's a story that starts with hope and ends with questions about safety and trust.
Crime is on the rise. I got the police to show up. They told me most foreigners that get robbed, they just forget about it because it's not worth all the hassle. The police actually were no help to me whatsoever. It's like no one cares.
Meet Jay, a Canadian expat, soon-to-be retiree, who has called Ecuador home on and off for years. Today, he opens up what's really happening in Ecuador: safety, daily life, expat realities, visa struggles, and how he's planning his next move. Stick around until the end to hear the shocking moment when Jay realized exactly how the thieves targeted him and his advice that every expat and retiree should know to avoid the same mistake. I'm Eric. I've been driving my motorcycle through Latin America telling expat stories of living abroad. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. I have a new guest, a new friend that's going to be sharing his details. Let's get to know him. What's your name?
My name's Jay.
Jay, where are you from?
From Canada.
What part of Canada are you from?
Vancouver Island, God's country.
And how old are you?
52.
And where are we now?
We are now in Quito, in a sector of Quito called Rumiñahui.
And we just finished a pretty tasty soup, huh?
Yeah, encebollada, my favorite.
It's a weird name for a soup, right? Like the onion thing.
Right, yeah. It's mostly onion and fish, yeah.
Onion and fish, like a stew. Tell me, are you planning to stay here long term?
I was. It was my plan.
Let's start from the beginning. When did you first come to Ecuador?
My first trip to Ecuador was in 2010. I've been here, I think this is my 5th trip back. So I've come and gone and spent 2 or 3 years each time, and then gone off to other places, maybe gone back to Canada to visit my family.
What happened in Ecuador that kept you here longer term in the past?
In the past, well, I married in 2011, and that was great for a while. Had some problems, and I ended up divorcing in 2014. But in those years, I learned to appreciate Ecuador for what it is, like the beautiful countryside, the Amazon, the beach. What I love about Ecuador is that in such a small country, you have these 3 unique places with completely different culture, completely different people. And I find that very attractive. I can be here in the Sierras and get on a bus, and the next morning I'm on the coast in a completely different place. I love photography, videography, love waterfalls and animals and things like that. I have a degree in aquaculture. So I worked for one of the universities for a while, helping students learn about fish species and things like that.
So when we started chatting, we actually met on Facebook, right? What was the Facebook group?
Expats to Ecuador.
In Ecuador, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me, have things changed here recently?
Things have changed drastically here. I can see it in so many different ways that it started to concern me. Some things for example, the electricity went out. Last year for 3 months, 2 months, we had no electricity here, maybe 6 hours a day. I work a lot online, so I had to look for alternative sources. And I lost one of my jobs because I couldn't perform properly because of the power cuts. And then I got asked to do some promotional videos in Misfortune, which is in the Amazon. And I decided to go on a trip, so I took the bus. And I was robbed of all of my cameras, everything, my drone, my professional camera with lenses, my Osmo. They took everything.
What was the total value of everything you had?
Probably somewhere around 6,000. Basically, I went to the bus line and gave them my cedula, because I do have a cedula. And they gave me a ticket that doesn't have my name on it, has no seat number. And I didn't realize that. I didn't really notice it. So when I went up to the bus to get on the bus, I said to the chauffeur, "I don't have a seat number. Where do you show?" Yeah, I don't have a seat number. So see here where it says asiento, and it's yeah. So he said, "No, just sit at the back of the bus." Basically, 2 guys entered. I didn't notice one of them. 2 guys entered wearing uniforms. They looked pretty clean, and they were telling myself and other people that were close to me to put on our seatbelts, which is really strange, right? So they were using a spray, especially around me. They sprayed my seat beside me. They sprayed around my feet. And I didn't realize it at the time, but that's a type of chemical that they use here to kind of make you lose your thoughts. Like it doesn't knock you out, but it kind of makes you become kind of dopey and you're not thinking straight. From there, he actually took my backpack away from me, which I didn't fight him for it. He told me, oh, I just need to clean around here. He put the backpack up top, and there was another guy behind me that I didn't see, and he stole all the cameras out of my bag. By the time they left, maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, I thought to myself, oh, I should grab my backpack. And when I grabbed my backpack, it was empty. They left my backpack there, but they took all the cameras and all the lenses out. Bus driver, no help, no cameras, he said. I got the police to show up. They stopped the bus. So the bus was not allowed to leave. All the people are on the bus waiting. The police are like, what about the camera in the bus? Oh, the camera's not working. And then the police actually were no help to me whatsoever. They told me most foreigners that get robbed, they just forget about it because it's not worth all the hassle. So I did go through all the hassle. I went to the police station 4 times. The system was down. I actually eventually made a official report with the police, which was really, really difficult to do. It took me hours, lots of taxi drives. To this day, no phone call, no email, never contacted me about anything. There's nothing. I think like when the police were unwilling to help me, there wasn't any help for me. There wasn't anything I could do. My stuff was gone and that's it. It's bye-bye. So I realized, man, there's a lot of corruption. Like there just seems to be, the government's not focusing on this type of problem. It's like no one cares. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm going to retire here, as I age and get older, who has my back? Who's going to watch out for me? Obviously, as I get older, it could actually potentially become more dangerous for me. And the state of the country, as things are kind of imploding inwards, and it seems like it's not really recovering after COVID.
Do you think a lot of the things that you saw before that were improving are not anymore?
Like roadways. When I came here in 2010, I was impressed by the highways, the roadways. When I came back to Ecuador just recently, like in 2023, some of the highway in the jungle area was actually collapsing down into the valleys and very scary. And I was like, they're not doing anything about this? I thought that was a little bit strange, that there's no kind of upkeep. And so that's got to be mostly because of just there's no money. Right? There's no support.
You mentioned that another part that was really important to you that you didn't see improvements on was also the safety aspect.
Just to give you an example, in my apartment, I had trouble with one of my neighbors playing music. I called the police. The police came. They were outside the door. I explained to them, look, it's 12 midnight. I need to sleep. I need to work the next day. The rules in this apartment is 10 o'clock. The police came. They knocked on his door. I listened to the conversation because I understand Spanish. And he said to the police officers, why are you siding with him? He's a foreigner. This isn't his country. I'm your countryman. And the police laughed and they had a good time about it. When the police left, he turned up the volume even louder. And there's no results. There's no, so that just really made me feel like there's just no support. There's nothing's being taken seriously.
You've had contacts that have had problems with it?
So I have a friend. She sent me a message. This was maybe a month ago, and said, Jay, I just got robbed in the bus. They stole my purse. I lost everything. I don't have my cedula. I don't have my bank card. I have no money. I can't do anything. So I lent her some money. Good friend of mine, no problem. She paid me back. Literally 2 weeks after she paid me back, she wrote me again, robbed again. Stole her cell phone, brand new cell phone that she bought to replace the last one, and lost all her stuff again. And that's somebody that lives here in Quito that understands, she knows good enough, like she knows how to protect herself. She knows how to take care of herself. And then my landlord of my apartment told me that they broke into her vehicle and stole the CPU of her vehicle and stole her radio $800 later to fix everything. So I feel like, crime is on the rise. Like there's a lot more incidences now.
Do you think those people that were robbed, are they like going to bad areas?
No, I've been to my friend's workplace where she works. She has a safe route. She has a safe route that seems like there's a lot of people around. At least you have people around you, it's not like in a dark alley somewhere. So no, I totally trust that and so of course now she writes me and she's like, Jay, get me out of here. how do I leave this country? I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to go through this anymore.
Tell me, how did you stay safe? How did you avoid problems while you were here?
So now I've changed a little bit. So now living here in Quito, I don't go out past 6 o'clock at night. So once the sun starts going down, I'm in my apartment. So I don't make any plans. I don't go out. If I do go out, I never go out alone. I still don't feel comfortable walking around at night in a neighborhood that I don't know very well.
And for anyone that wants to know my technique, I always drive my motorcycle everywhere. And for me, being on a motorcycle is 10 times safer than walking. When I talked to Court from his motorcycle shop, he rents motorcycles for tours. And he mentioned, well, people that are on foot and take buses, that's going to be the high risk situation. So if you are constantly on a motorcycle, you can control the situation yourself. The risk is way lower. Jay, what are your plans for the future?
I'm going to leave in a month, head back to Canada, spend some time with my family. Replace my equipment, and I'm gonna head to Japan. So I was in Japan a couple years ago. I think I just need a transition from my experience here to a place where I can feel a little safer and kind of regain my personality and the characteristics of before. Because I spent 3 months there, I traveled all through Japan, phone out all the time, walking around doing whatever I want. And no one ever bothered me. I never felt unsafe in not one moment.
I've met expats, explored prices, walked the streets, and looked into safety. If you're serious about Ecuador, check out my full playlist for real boots on the ground info. For people that don't know much about Japan, can you mention why you want to go to Japan? What is such a pull factor besides the safety?
The cleanliness. So as much as I love Ecuador, they don't keep it as clean as I wish they would. So that does bother me sometimes. Japan is the complete opposite. After a few years, you kind of let it go and it's not a big deal. But in Japan, everybody lines up, everybody waits their turn. It's more organized. So that's probably another draw to me, is just the organization. The trains are always on time, the buses are on time. So it makes a difference.
So let's go back to your Ecuador plan, because you were planning to live here long term. What visa did you have and what were you trying to do to stay here long term?
Yeah, so I can't remember the code or the number, but I married an Ecuadorian girl. So basically how it works is my visa was good until we divorced, and we divorced years later. When I came back to Ecuador, I came on that visa. But when I started to talk to a lawyer here, he said, basically, once you leave the country, you will not be able to come back on that visa. So I said to him, well, I'll change my visa to a nomad visa, which is fairly easy actually to do. I sent in all my paperwork, I qualified for everything. It was literally in the process until I mentally checked out of my idea. And I said, okay, I'm gonna have to call the lawyer and tell him to just stop the process because I'm not gonna continue through with it. I think we all have dreams, and when you have a dream in your head, you get super excited about it. And sometimes you don't let the devil's advocate say anything to you. And I think if you want to make a decision to come to Ecuador, you should probably spend some time here first. And I don't mean 2-week vacation. I mean, come here and commit to come here maybe for 3 months, 6 months. And don't just stick to one spot. Don't just stay in one town. Because the reality is, if you do make a move here, you'll probably be moving around. So it's nice to get to know some different areas and get the feel for things. And talk to others, talk to other expats. They're very, I know I am on the group. I answer questions, I help people, and I give people the honest truth. And I think people like that. So talk as much as you can to others, listen to their experience, positive, negatives, and come to Ecuador and visit and spend some time and see if you like the culture before selling your house and absolutely moving everything in one shot.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you giving us all of your input, your story. Thank you so much, Jay. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
And I hope that your transition out to Asia is going to be smooth and solid. Hey guys, most of the time on this channel, I share about how amazing life can be when you relocate to Latin America. The culture, the people, the food, the music, the value that it provides to us. But in this video, I wanted to show the other side of the reality. Not to scare anyone, but just to be real. It's clear that there is no one perfect country. Now, what people normally get wrong when they first start researching Latin America is that the real issue for foreigners isn't violence. It's petty theft, occasional pickpocketing, and burglary, especially in places where poverty is high. Despite this fact and Jay's story, I personally still consider Ecuador to be one of the highest value countries in Latin America. And honestly, I'd move here again in a heartbeat if I weren't already in the middle of documenting the rest of South America. Now, I personally have never gone through what Jay went through in Ecuador, and none of the expat retirees that I have talked to have either. And if you'd like to see a different side of this lifestyle, check out my previous video where I chat with FIRE early retirees who are slow traveling the world, just like Jay is going to be doing in Asia. Hasta la próxima.